Hello and welcome back to the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update Show, this time for May 2024. In this video, we're taking a deep dive into the Reno-Sparks real estate market. If you've been keeping an eye on our area, you know it's been bustling with activity, and this month is no exception. Whether you're selling your home, buying a home, or just curious about what's happening in the local market, you've come to the right place. So buckle up, because we're about to explore all the latest trends, data, and charts that are shaping the market right now. Let's go.
Assist you sell way smarter.
So the first chart we always start with is interest rates on the 30-year mortgage. So on this chart on the left side of your screen is the actual interest rate in terms of percentage, goes from 2% all the way up to 10. And on the bottom are dates. We start all the way back in 1994 and go all the way up to present day, so about 30 years ago of interest rates. Now currently we're sitting at just a little over 7%, about 7.25% as we record, which is down a bit from the peak, or at least the most recent peak, which was really late 2022 into 2023, where we saw interest rates touching right around 8%. So let's look at our first chart, which is median home price. Before I get to that, let's explain these charts. On the left side is the price, and on the bottom are the dates. So we start at 2014 to present day, so about 10 years of data on the right side of the screen. Now you notice it says April 2024, and even though this is the May market update, we only have stats through the end of April as I record this. And then of course you see prior period. Now prior period would be the month previous, which in this case is March of 2024, and same period prior year would be the same month, in this case April of 2023. And all the charts are going to be very similar. And as you can see, in the last decade plus, we have had a significant rise in real estate prices. But the good news, at least for buyers out there, is we peaked out in early 2022 at about $600,000 before we saw interest rates spike. Go back to interest rates, you can see 2022 into 23, we saw a spike in interest rates. We saw the median home price come down. We've since seen a bit of a rebound, but the good news is prices are basically flatlining. They're just hovering right around that $550,000 mark. Now let's take a look at new listings on the market. This is a number of homes that have come on the market in April. So a lot of these homes may still be on the market, but a lot of these have already sold or in escrow and are getting ready to close here soon. But we had 496. Now, real quickly on this chart, on the left side, instead of price, is actually the number of homes, and on the bottom are, again, the dates, which in this case goes back about a decade. So currently, as of April, we had 496 new listings enter the market, which is up 14% from March, and roughly a little over 5% higher from this time last year. Now let's look at new listings by price. Now the prices along the bottom here are 100 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. Goes all the way up to over $1.5 million. So the majority of new listings are coming on the market between $400,000 and about $650,000, $700,000. Let's take a look at active listings. Now what's the difference between new and active? Well, the new listings just came on the market in April. Active are ones that are still on the market and are the available homes. So if you're thinking about buying a home, these are homes you could go look at and potentially purchase. If you're thinking about selling your home, these are the homes that are your competition, that you're going to be competing against for those buyers and to try and find somebody to purchase your home. So standing active inventory is currently at 563, which is up slightly from last month where we had 546, but is down nearly 12% from this time last year where we had 638. Now let's look at active by price. Now this is a chart I want you to pay attention to, and you'll see why here in just a moment, but we have a significant number of active listings at $1.5 million plus. And this is pretty rare to see. We have actually as many over $1.5 million homes as we do 600 to 700, and between 400 and 600 combined. So we have a significant number of high-end homes, but not as many homes in the lower end price ranges. Now let's look at close. These are the homes that actually sold in April. 372, which is up nearly 12% from March and is basically flat from this time last year where we had 371. What's interesting about this chart is at 372, we're barely reaching what would be considered some of the slowest closed sales times in our marketplace over the last 10 years. So usually December, January into early February is when closings tend to bottom out before they start heading up for the spring. We actually bottomed out significantly lower, and our peaks now are just barely hitting what would be considered our slow times. So the market has definitely shifted down significantly. Now let's look at closed by price. Now this is why I wanted you to pay attention to that other chart. Look at the number of closings, very few at $1.5 million plus, and $1 million to $1.5 million, and even 750 to $1 million is pretty low. The majority of your sales are between 4 and 5, 5 to 6, and up to about 650, 700. Now, if we look at the total active by price, you can see huge number of actives, very few sales. So as that disparity gets wider and wider, meaning the number of actives versus solds, that tends to put more and more pressure on prices. And that's why, with very few actives in the low-end price range, but a huge number of sales, it has the opposite effect. Everything is selling in the lower price ranges, which means there's very little to choose from. That puts upward pressure on prices. The opposite is true if you go back to active by price, when you have a ton of homes on the market in a certain price range, and very few of those are selling. That puts downward pressure. So it's really the story of two price ranges in our area. The upper end stuff, where we're starting to see inventory build, and you're going to start to see pressure on prices in that upper end stuff. And the opposite is true for some of the mid to lower end stuff. We're seeing less and less inventory, standing inventory, and more sales, which is putting upward pressure on prices. Now let's look at the total number of sales over the first third of the year. So we're about 33% through 2024. Hard to believe, but it's true, the end of April. Now the chart you're looking at over here is a total number of sales and then the years at the bottom. So this is the total sales that took place between January and April, basically the first third of the year going back 10 years. And as you can see from the chart, we usually average right around 1,800 in that range. We're clearly significantly lower than that at only 1,262 sales. So to sum it all up, it really is, like I mentioned, the story of two markets, two price ranges, the upper end and the lower end. If you're thinking of selling your home in the lower end price ranges, you have a very good chance of selling rather quickly, and you'll probably get a really good price for your home. If you start to enter that 650, 700 and up, the higher you go, the slower it starts to get. You have more competition, and you're starting to see some pressure on prices in that upper end price range. So before we wrap this up, I want to let you know, if you're thinking of selling your home, there's absolutely no reason to pay huge commissions to get that job done. It's one of the biggest closing costs you're going to have is paying a real estate agent. Reach out to Assist to Sell. We'll sell your home for only $4,995. Now compare that to say 5 or 6% on our median home price, which is over $560,000. 6% commission is over 30 grand. And let's say you got it for 5%, you're still well over $25,000, $26,000 and up. There's absolutely no reason to pay that kind of commission to get your home sold. Give us a call, $49.95. Expert local agent will assist you in every aspect of the home sale, from putting your home on the market to doing all of the marketing, showing your property, handling the escrow, everything, all the way until you close your home and get your check. And the good news is your check's going to be significantly larger thanks to our low flat fee of only $49.95. So give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time on the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update Show. Bye-bye.
Assist to sell way smarter.